What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of LKD Talks. My name is Emmanuel LKD, and let's unplug and be real for a sec. Now, today, for episode 11, we got my boy, Wabi Fresco.
Yeah. What's up, bro? What's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, man. How about you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Work was slow, but,
Okay.
I was looking forward to this, so it made it go by faster,
Yeah. I have a pretty busy schedule, so I'm like, you're the homie. I'm gonna slide in real quick tomorrow. So, I mean, thank you for having me on this podcast because we're almost friends for like almost a decade, so it's like an honor just to, yeah,
A decade?
almost. You hit me up in 2016.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
A
like you
decade.
slide me in my DMs. I'm like, oh,
It's
okay.
like 7 years. Dang, we really known each other for 7 years.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Time goes by fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out Renee.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. And like I've had Wabi on my channel before with our vlog. I'm gonna plug that real quick too,
Oh
plug in
yeah. The
in
Rockford
the
vlog.
description.
Yep.
Yeah, the Rockford
Uh,
vlog. Yeah, that was a fun time. That was our first time just ever crossing paths. It's so surreal to see your internet friends in real life.
yep.
It's weird, but it's cool. It's dope though.
I show them around like the areas and even the Middle Eastern food, right? The
Yeah.
Mediterranean. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what was that place called again? Holy Land?
Oh,
No,
it was Sahara Palace, I think. Yeah,
Sahara Sahara Palace?
I think so. I'm pretty sure about it, but I might be wrong.
Okay,
Pretty
okay,
sure.
we'll have to check.
It's in the vlog, so
In
we're
the
gonna
vlog.
plug it
It's
in.
in the vlog. Y'all should watch that right now.
Yeah,
What the heck?
yeah.
Yeah, man. So Wabi, can you give the audience a brief introduction about who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
All right. So I'm a rapper and I'm also a piano player. I've been making music for nearly 10 years, but I recently got back into doing it. Let's see. I mean, just for the music is just passion, man. Like it's like a love-hate relationship where you love just being engaged with the music and hearing like new tunes, but at the same time you have this like hate relationship where you feel a bit of self-doubt where you're not confident on your abilities sometimes, and you will like, I don't know, sounds great, I don't know how I'm feeling about that bar, I don't know, maybe I'm not it. So that's pretty much about that.
Yeah, yeah. And I was actually about to say, our song "Love Hate Relationship" is out now. By the time this podcast is out,
Yeah.
y'all check
Mm-hmm.
that out. Apple Music,
Yeah.
Spotify, out now everywhere.
Yeah, we were going goblin mode. We were going
Go
goblin
Goblin
mode.
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember. So I just randomly decided to go live, and then Wabi just happened to join the live, and then that kind of kept me accountable to actually record my verse for the song. And then
Mhm.
I actually happened to record it because there was a part of me that was overthinking, it was that hate relationship with the love hate
Yeah.
relationship
See?
type of aspect where I was overthinking like, oh, I don't know if this sounds good. But then Wabi's just like, yo, just do it, bro. Just record it. The best time to do it is just right now. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, you're
exactly.
right. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I got my verse and my part done in only 30-40 minutes, and then I
Hmm.
sent it over to Wabi. He got his verse done the next few
Yeah.
days, and then we made a classic.
Yeah, it was a hit. It was a hit. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. When I did that course, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
real, dude. Like, all right, here's the story about that. So about last month, I wanted to have like a end of year type of joint where it's just kind of like a celebration in a way, or like just to get new content out. And it just so happens where I had another collab for another song, but that got delayed because someone didn't really turn in their verse on time. So I'm like, all right, I gotta find like a replacement, like just to do an end of the year song. And I think that I was going through like so many beats. I was going through so many beats, and then I got this text message popped up. It's basically saying like, "All right, I don't have the time to do it. I had to do it at a certain time." So what happened really was that I got an inspiration out of that song because from that guy, we used to talk about like that love-hate relationship with the music. And I kind of like pretty much got inspired, like, oh, okay, maybe I could put this into it because we were talking about, all right, we're confident about this type of abilities in our songs, but we have that self-doubt that maybe we're not it. So I wrote that down. I said like the first thing I remember, I wrote, you can't be a muse if it's not for the music. It's a love-hate relationship to those truly do it. Like you had to be in a place, like you gotta be in the muse, like a place like where you're, I guess like a place of nirvana in a way
Mm.
where you're all like at peace. You're at peace with the music because it is a way for an outlet for us. So that bar in itself, I was like, oh, this is some real stuff. And then, it eventually progressed to what it is. And yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, and I remember the beat too. You sent it to me, like way
Mhm.
back. I want to say maybe summertime, because
Yeah, 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 yeah.
because we were
Mhm.
thinking about what can go on this beat, like dun 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 dun. Dun. We're like,
Yeah, uh-huh.
like how does this work? And like you said, it's kind of like you have to be in that nirvana, that kind of fresh state,
That zen almost. That
Zen, yeah, the
zen.
state of Zen, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout state of Zen. Wabi
Hmm.
Fresco out now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like after that writing that chorus, the hook, I was like, maybe I should talk about like my come up because I just feel that as an artist, especially a new debuting artist that like kind of took like some sort of hiatus for a couple years, it's kind of all right just to introduce myself to people that don't know me. So I basically uh went back to the days when I started recording and writing music for the first time, and I got inspired pretty much by like J Park and like the whole like Korean hip hop scene. So and also the YouTube Asian like hip hop stuff like J Rise, Dumbfounded, Shogunna, Decipher, Lil Craze. I could name a bunch, but those were like the ones that inspired me like during those days. So I pretty much like go over that. And it was basically a first chapter of my story. That's what I wanted to instilled with, because I do plan like putting out a project. It's coming around sometime this year. It's gonna call Fresh as in Fresco. And I think it's pretty refreshing to the ears because I'm having all these different sounds where it's not pretty common, but at the same time, it's I mean, I wouldn't say it's like a club record necessarily, but you hear that cloud rap elements
Mm.
into it, if you know what it is. But it's like a subgenre. So yeah,
Yeah, with cloud rap, I remember you telling me about how you kind of wanted to bring that back, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah, yeah,
it kind of disappeared with like Suicide Boys. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
they're still doing their thing, but that whole atmosphere, I guess,
Mhm.
has just kind of blended in or blended out or however you want to say it.
Yeah,
But like, yeah, I know what you mean with the cloud rap.
yeah.
And he's been showing me a lot of his music too. Or the like his beat selections, like ooh, it's kind
Yeah.
of wavy. It's like very Final Fantasy.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And something I just want to kind of add real quick with what you said about being fresh as in fresco or fresco as in fresh. Could you describe or go on what Wabi Fresco even means in the first place?
Oh man, oh man. This is gonna be deep, man. All right. So it all started. It's like I'm telling my life story, but I'm just
Go
gonna
for it.
condense it as much as possible. But like 2019, man, like 2019, around like New Year's Eve. So like 2019 to like going on 2020. I had this like big debut performance in my city for like the Lao community, and I was promoting that for like weeks, dude. I was literally promoting it for weeks because I knew that if I were to perform that day, I'm gonna get heard in my city, especially within the Lao community. They're probably gonna share it to like some other parts of the states, and maybe someone might catch it. But I knew that if I get my foot on the door, then I'm gonna get like some word of mouth promotion. But I don't want to get too deep into like my personal health and like my life and whatnot. But what happened was that I ended up in the ER for like some other stuff, and then at the same time I was dealing with like family members and acquaintances that passed away. So I was like a total wreck, dude. Like
Mm.
going into 2020, I was a total wreck. I pretty much went through like an existential crisis in a way where I had to like step away from the music stuff because when I record music, I get lightheaded. I pretty much I couldn't even finish a verse at all. So I really debated like, man, should I put this mantle down? And if so, like, what's the use of me having social media? So I pondered that for like a good couple of months and I just wiped everything out. I just wiped everything out. And let me tell you, man, it's refreshing. It's really refreshing because you're not really reliant on like going on social media because you know how
Mm.
addicted it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it was so weird though because I was being like my authentic self. I'm being more genuine, try to go through like this self-development stuff that when I interact with people, there it's like it's kind of weird how, oh, you don't have social media? How can you like, all right, like what is your IG? Like, but I'm like, yo, what is your phone number? And it was just like that repeating thing all over again. But yeah, man, getting back into the topic of my story is that I enrolled into like my fall semester of 2021, and I had a class of intro to non-Western humanities, all right, and an intro to art history. I was pretty much inspired by this guy, dude. His name is Dr. Robert Delonzo. And man, I was looking forward to his lectures every single day, dude. Like I was participating, I was engaging with the content, I was reading all the materials, and then he pretty much encouraged us to do this creative project. He pretty much do encouraged us to do this creative project where it's inspired by Black Mountain College because Black Mountain College is more of not a traditional school in a way, but it's more based on creativity. So
Mhm.
you're learning all the stuff like the regular curriculum things, but you're doing it in a more creative aspect. And that like it was pretty unorthodox around like the 40s, 30s at that time. But yeah, man, like I didn't I didn't know what I wanted to do for the creative project. So I tried like maybe writing like a story, but I couldn't come up with something like, on top. But eventually I just like, all right, let me just get back into doing this music thing because I had this creative pent up energy
Mm.
for like a couple years, dude. I literally kid you not, like I was thinking more in a system, like a systematically way of like, all right, how am I gonna organize this? Like how am I gonna file this and all this stuff, like a song in a way, like packaging a
Mm.
song. And man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. When I did State of Zen, I was pretty rusty, man. I was pretty rusty, except for the second verse. I love the second verse because the first verse, it's more like it's like just rhyming things, except for the last few lines
Mm.
where I said, let's see, what was it? The stars align, the planets align, something, something, you know, it's like stars align. I know it's like I defined the final flash rhythm and rhyme as the saying goes. There's only one certainty in life, you gotta shine. That's a reference from a Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
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 personally,
yeah.
yeah.
See, yeah, that's the only part that I like from the first verse. But yeah, like he gave me an A on the project. He was like, "What? What?" I'm
Hey, let's
pretty sure
go.
because
Shout out, doctor.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then yeah, man, like because I think I mentioned it in the song or not, but like wabi is actually derived from a Japanese concept of wabi sabi. How I like to describe it is basically finding the perfections in the imperfections, because I do feel that like what I went through at that time, I was at a like a very deep broken place, man. Like I was in a rut, and the fresco, I originally I wanted to be Lascaux, as in the
Mm.
Lascaux caves out in France. It's like from the Paleolithic, one of the oldest like paintings in the world, I believe. And I couldn't manage to find like a another definition to like implement into it. So I'm like, all right, I might as well go with Fresco, even though I might use the terminology wrong, but it's still, it's refreshing and
Yeah.
like digestible. So I'm like, all right, I might as well use Fresco, and I stuck with it for ever since then, pretty much. Yeah,
Yeah, like, and it sticks too, like Wabi Fresco.
yeah,
It sounds good.
yeah,
Like,
man.
it
I'll never
does sound
forget
good.
that year. Like that literally changed my life for the last bit of like community college, because it really ignited my creative like side of things.
Mhm.
Mhm,
Yeah, I like that. I like how you kind of stepped out of that systematic organization of
mhm,
thinking with music, if that makes sense,
mhm.
and just kinda had fun with it. Just kinda you really use it as an outlet, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, man, I that time I try to avoid music as much as possible, but in reality, we couldn't even escape it. It's literally on the TV, on our laptops, on like the stores and the malls. I couldn't escape it. So I'm like, all right, let me just accept it. But yeah, man, like it because of that, I got into like different genres of music. Like I
mm,
was watching while I was doing the self-development stuff, right? I was looking at like different workouts, and I managed to find like this bodybuilder. He's an IFBB pro. His name is Stephen Cow, and I was watching his videos, right, just to learn like how to diet something, or just like finding different workouts, like something new to do, right? And while he was doing that workout segments, I'm listening to the guy's like song. Like he doesn't have his own song, but he has his like playlist of like
mm.
songs that he's compiled. I'm like, this guy got a good playlist. Let me check this out. And then it got me into like listening to alternative, EDM,
Mhm.
to even metal music, dude. Like I was I was in a state of bliss in a way, because it's refreshing for me. Then instead of like listening to like lyrical rap and all like just R&B, it just felt oversaturated for me. So
Yeah,
I was
I know
like
what you
in a
mean.
complete ride. Like the first metal band I listened to was like Bring Me the Horizon. And that was like the
Yeah.
gateway. It was like literally the gateway. And then when yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Giga
uh-huh.
Chad song.
Yep. So after that, like I didn't have like the what was it called? Spotify Plus or something, right?
Premium.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I didn't have that at all. So don't bash on me on that. But
Boo.
I enjoyed listening to different kinds of music. So I don't mind the ads and the shuffle. So yeah, while I was listening to Bring Me the Horizon, it was on shuffle with a song called Kingslayer from their EP. And originally I hated that song, man. I hated that.
Mm,
I like because it was so distorted and so loud, it kind of hurts my ears and my speakers. So I'm like, I avoid it. But for some reason I gave it a chance. And and man, let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. It was until maybe the chorus to the second verse. I was like, what is this? What is this? And it was baby metal, bro. Like shout out to baby metal.
yo, rep
Shout
the
out to
shirt, man.
baby
Rep the
metal,
shirt.
bro. Oh my god, yeah, yeah. I'm wearing the Rock Nation hat and the baby metal. So I'm legit with like hip hop and metal. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's the
yeah,
full
so
variety. He's the full
yeah.
canvas, you know?
Yeah, the whole canvas right there. So like man, I was shocked. I was like, this goes hard. Like this goes really hard. Why did I skip this song? So I was listening to this. I was like, all right, let me go check out Baby Metal, because I thought it was just a solo singer. I thought it was
Mhm.
a solo singer. So when I type in Baby Metal, the first video I watched was Karate. I'm like, this is a band? No way. Hold up. And I had mixed reactions to when I was listening to their music, bro. Like I think this is like goes to every single baby metal fan, but because it was so new and
Yeah.
unorthodox, because they're doing choreography and while they're implementing metal music
It's like
with like that.
cute metal.
Yeah. So I'm like, it took me a couple tries to like get with the concept. And I of course I listened to the Spotify, and I think around like maybe the song Akatsuki. Not like Naruto Akatsuki, not like that, but
Yeah.
I think it sold me as a fan, because it's such a it has a ballad like element to it, but it has metal. It has metal into it.
Mm,
I was like, all right, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm a fan. I'm gonna ride or die with
rep
you
it.
guys now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like baby metal made me fall in love with music again. There's the
Mm,
love element. There's kind of the love element where like, man, I actually want to do something now. Like this is
mm.
something new. I want to get into this stuff. But yeah, man, yeah, I, that it literally transformed me. It literally transformed me. It got me into more heavier music like Slipknot to Bullets to My Valentine to Motionless in
Motionless in White.
White.
Yo, Jinx,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were bumping that album, dude. It was crazy.
Heavy. That new
Mhm.
album. I forgot what it was called. What's it called? That the new album for Motionless in White.
I'm not sure, dude.
I'm gonna look it up real quick, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
remember you sent me their album and
yeah,
I just saw their artwork. I'm like, this goes hard. This the artwork looks hard. It's like a
yeah,
hand
yeah,
holding a
dude.
globe and it's fire everywhere.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
I rem
People think that metal music is like cringe, like emo type of vibes, but no, dude. Like if you
uh
really get into it, and once you start to get used to the screamings and stuff like that, it goes pretty hard. Like when you work out and all that.
yeah, oh, I love
Mhm.
it. I This album, Scoring the End of the World.
Yes,
Yo,
yes,
I
that's
listened
what
to
it
that when
is.
I was working out, and it just goes Super
It
Saiyan.
makes you go over 9,000, bro. Like I think the Disguise album sold me as a fan. It really sold me as a fan, especially songs like Catharsis and Another Life, I believe it's what it's called.
Is that
It's
another album by
Yeah,
Motionless in
yeah,
White?
it's called Disguise in
Skies.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, it sold me as a fan. It sold me as
Okay.
a fan.
I have to listen to that one still. I've just been listening to Scoring the End of the World.
Yeah, yeah. It still goes hard. It still goes hard. It's more
Okay.
like a cyberpunk type of element into it.
Okay, bet.
No, no, no. I'm talking about scoring the end of the world.
Oh, Scoring
Like
the End of the World. Oh,
you
yeah,
hear
yeah, yeah.
that like with Cyberhex and all that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hear that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Cyber Hex. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, man, such a good song. And I love just kind of going off with that too, with listening to different genres of music. It really helps you with writing your own music and recording your own music in a way. Because I forgot what song it is. I think it is Cyber Hex, where he says, "I pull the sun from the sky," and
yeah. It was Cyberhex. Yeah,
just
it
that,
was Cyberhex.
just that picture, like a picture of someone to of a mental picture of someone pulling the sun from the sky to stop time and freeze it or to freeze
Yeah,
time.
dude.
It's just like what?
Hmm.
Like I could have never thought about that from
Yeah,
any,
man.
hip hop song, I mean, no offense, but
Exactly.
like some genres of music just have different imaginations.
Yeah, dude. Like I remember, like I told you once, like in our like combos, that if I'm gonna go into music, I wanna be able to paint you a picture. I want to be able to paint a picture in within my lyrics, whether it be a club record or maybe it's like a storytelling record. Like I have a bar I pretty much got inspired by like Fabulous when it comes to like these wordplays. So the first bar was like 15, 16 in my 20s, but I'm feeling 16, placing words and caption, no plan of action. In an instant could have been a real world distraction, like real, like an Instagram reel
Okay.
rolled distraction. So
Okay.
it made me like want to like get into more of that type of stuff.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, just taking a break and looking at other people's work in general, whether it's from different genres or just, other rappers, other artists, it's necessary
Yeah, yeah.
because I kind of want to talk about too about uh, how just grinding is just not it as a creative, as a creator.
Yeah.
We have to take breaks. You took a 3-year, 4-year break
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. I took around like that long because man, like I'm not gonna front. Like I was I was pretty much having writer's block during like the 2019 era because I had plans for 2020 where I was gonna drop an EP with Angelo Cassiano, but that didn't really planned out. We literally had like everything planned out for like the song listing and the vibe to it. But you know how 2020 went with the whole
Yeah.
like
Everyone
so
knows how that
that's
went.
out of the
Ruined everyone's
window.
year.
And I was about to put like another like two projects. So I had like how am I gonna do all this stuff while I'm having writer's block? So it didn't really make any sense. So it it kind of fits that I had to step back from everything just to like reevaluate everything at once because it was like a crazy year, dude. But besides like what I went through, in a way, I kind of like went through a side quest instead of going to the main story because everybody was dealing with like what's happening right now. I was like, oh, okay. Like you remember that one meme that I sent you, like there was like the COVID and then like the Asian like murder hornets.
Oh, yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like that.
Yeah,
I was
that
like,
video. I
I'm going
remember
on a
that
side
video.
quest, and you guys going to the main course, but yeah,
Yeah, man, I remember. Yeah, man. So like honestly, I feel like we do need to have side quests like that just to kind of take a break. Because I mean, the first video game that popped up into my head was Breath of the Wild. I don't know if you've ever played that game or not,
no, I never played it.
but there's a lot of side quests you can do in that game. Like the main story of the game is to, defeat Ganondorf, save Zelda, stuff like that. But there's some other side quests like building a village from the ground up or saving someone's chickens or whatever like that.
Maybe someone's chickens. Okay, okay,
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. I'll have to,
all right.
but there's like so many other side quests that you can do in that game, and I think that's really I, I think what you said about life being having the main quest and the side quest is a good analogy
Yeah, yeah,
for creatives. It's okay to take the side quests, like you
mhm,
can, as long as you still have your main quest in mind, or I
yeah,
mean, yeah, as long as you have it still in mind, it's okay to take breaks. Like it's totally normal, and
yeah.
yeah, like that grind set mindset isn't always everything.
Hmm. Especially like how everything is like you have to like keep up with the content, and if not, you kind of like lose your position in a way, which is kind of sad. But you
Mhm.
if you know like how if you're confident in your abilities and know what you want to do, I guess like you can be satisfied with like going back into it. But I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. So, kind of want to talk about because I've seen you post clips of Final Fantasy X on your
Yes,
Instagram.
yes.
So, can you go on about what all of that means?
Okay, dude.
For people who aren't in the loop with what Final Fantasy X is,
Oh
yo,
my
I can already
god.
tell this man is excited to talk about Final Fantasy
Alright.
X.
Yeah.
I see him
This
rubbing
was
he's
really
doing the
deep, dude.
Birdman
Like
hands and
all my stuff
everything.
is gonna be really deep. All right. This is a spoiler alert. All right. For those that never play the game, spoiler alert. All right. So it's basically about this guy named like Titus. He is a blitzball player, like pretty well known. All right. And out of nowhere, there's like this big, gigantic whale monster. I think it's from the sea or whatnot that like pretty much destroyed his hometown. And he landed in the spot called Spira, like the first, I guess what's it called? The first setting in the game, he landed in Besaid Island, and it's basically he's in the future in a way. In a way, he's in the future. That's what people around him's telling, and he's like, "What? No way! I'm in the future. That can't be because I was literally at my hometown and got destroyed by like maybe a couple hours ago." And man, like going through that game, like I didn't play the game, but I watched the video game walkthrough from DNCO8, and like you know how Final Fantasy games are, they tend to get like very long. They get very
Yeah.
long. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna commit myself to it while all this like main quest stuff is happening right now. So I'm like, all right, let me just commit myself. And man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. Like the game, it really like is a life changer for a lot of people that either watch it or played it. So like you're going through the journey of Titus, and he eventually meets up with Waka. He's like one of the companions that goes along with Titus, and then he became a summoner. Not a summoner. What was it called? A guardian is a guardian for a summoner, I believe. correct me if I'm wrong. If anybody played Final Fantasy X, it's been a while. So they basically gather all the companions together so they can defeat like the gigantic whale monster called Sin. And man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. Like they had to. It's pretty life changing because you see the character progression of Titus when he first landed into like Spira. He he was pretty much immature because I mean, who wouldn't? Like you just landed out of nowhere and you
Mhm.
just saw your whole like hometown getting destroyed, and you're like 1,000 years in the future. Who wouldn't react like that? So I was like, okay, let's. This guy's a bit childish in a way, so we're gonna continue it. It wasn't until around when he went to the Blitzball tournament because he knows that someone is like going there. Someone was going there, and I was like, okay, this might take a turn of the tone of the game. I might as well like continue it. And man, I'm gonna tell you this, dude. This is a spoiler warning. The guy that
Mhm.
he came to see, it was his dad's friend. His name is Oren. And then, man, the moment that Oren told that Titus that his dad was Sin, oh, dude, like he was going through an
Yeah.
existential crisis, and I was going through an existential crisis. I was like, "What? No
Nah, yeah.
way!"
Plot twist, man.
Yeah. So yeah, man, when you like progress throughout the story, you starting to see that he's taking up responsibility. He's taking more accountability on his actions because he's starting to develop bonds with the people around him because all he wanted to do originally was going back to his hometown. But by the end of the story, man, he once he realized that, spoiler alert, that he was just a dream of the faith, and the faith are like I don't know how to describe it. It's been so long,
Mhm.
but I'll tell you this: like, just imagine like a spirit telling you that you're not real. You're just a pigment of a dream of the faith.
Mm.
So just imagine that, dude. That's even more like
Man, that's trippy.
traumatizing right there.
It's almost like you
Because
don't even exist.
yeah, exactly. So I was like, man, that's the hardest. Like, that's the hardest background than like any anime I watched. I'm
Mm.
like, you don't even exist, dude. You're just a pigment of what was happening like before or like their imagination in a way. So once he realized that he has to destroy like all of these like I think it's called aeons. It's been a while, so I'm a bit rusty. Like they like I think they collected all the aeons just to like to defeat sin. And once they realized that sin was actually like their deity, like the actual deity that they praise, that that would help and like guide them. It was like what? Because everybody's facing reality at the same time.
Mm.
So it was by the end of the story, man. Like Titus knew that if he defeats sin, he's gonna disappear. So he
Mm.
just basically accepted the reality. So how this affected me was that I'm able to see like how this guy went from being immature, going through an existential crisis, to like accepting reality. That was the biggest takeaway I got from that game. It literally changed my life because I was like, "Yo, man, what? Like, why am I here? What is my purpose? How can I like fulfill like what I want to do like while I'm still living?" Because, like I said, I had some acquaintances and family members that passed away. Like why am I still living and breathing while they're gone like at an early age or at a later life?
Mhm.
So I was I was pretty much inspired, and it brought me to tears, dude. Like I'm not gonna lie, it brought me to tears because how it was so real. Like the thing was like so deep. Like the how the story was written, it's like
Mhm.
pretty like compelling. And ever since then, I told myself, all right, man, I'm a I'm gonna do things differently. I'm gonna approach life differently. I'm gonna be more open to people. I'm gonna, take different opportunities, try something new, maybe have some sort of risk for once. And And I'm gonna tell you this, dude, like 2022 was the year of taking action, taking initiative, dude.
Mm,
Like my
mhm.
life completely changed. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm more sociable, but I'm more open than the previous years because throughout those times I was more reclusive. I didn't want to interact with anyone, especially with the music people. Like I had people like contacting me like, "Oh, are you going to get back to music? Are you going to get back into music?" And I'm like, "All right, man, like it makes me want to stray away from you
Yeah,
as much as possible." But
yeah.
you hit me up during those times and it was like I felt it was genuine where all right, let me just text him because he's asking me about my day, how I've been and all that. Especially during like all the craziness that just happened.
With COVID and everything like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So 2022, man, I took initiative. Like I've seen how like how life like just changes for you if you take that one step. I
Mhm.
started like taking I started to become more approachable to people, but I'm still working on like having conversations because I'm more of the energy type of guy. If I don't really feel that type of
Mm.
energy, it's like, well, what am I gonna do? Like
Yeah, like,
I'm
you're not gonna
pretty much
instigate it, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
I hate asking people like so many questions because I don't want to like it's just a one sided thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know
It's just a
exactly what you
one
mean.
sided thing. So I'm like, all right, this is awkward now, but I don't know how to pull away from it. But yeah, man, Final Fantasy X, it really changed my life, dude. I I graduated my community college because of it. I was a bit having a self doubt for that, but I was like, all right, man, I made a promise to myself. I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna do what I intended to do, and even this, for example,
Mhm.
I never really thought of doing a podcast episode for real. Like even the music thing, I literally told you one time that I'm not coming back to doing music. I'm not coming back to be doing music. But you don't know how life is gonna work. So it just so happens that I'm back now. So that's
Yeah,
the
man, that's
story. The rest
dope.
is history. Hmm.
Yeah, man, that's dope. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, man. It's crazy
Yeah.
because we've known each other for 7 years, and it's like,
Mhm.
it was meant to be, man. It was destiny that
Yeah.
you would be sitting here, and we would just be making music, collaborating,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, like, I was just thinking back too on the past when, we would just stay up to, like, 12 a.m., 1 a.m., just
Yeah.
recording verses or just trying to
Jaw
perfect
ad
them.
libs.
Ad-libs, yeah, jaw ad-libs, that's an inside joke for only us, only we know what that means, jaw ad-libs. And then, like, it's kind of doing the same thing now. Like, last night, uh, you hit me up
Oh my god, bro.
about,
Oh
like, the
my
whole
god.
DistroKid process.
Yes. Oh my god, dude. Like this is one of the things about a love-hate relationship with music. Like you finish, like, okay, maybe sometimes when you record and edit, you kind of like the process, but it gets tedious at times because
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
depending on like what type of artist you are or creative, you have that perfectionist
Oh, yeah.
element to it or an attribute. So when I hear like my song sometimes I would like, of course, a critique about like a certain decibel or like EQ, but since I'm pretty much back into it, I pretty much like, all right, I'm just pretty back into it. But
Mhm.
it's just like it's just something, man, where you like, I gotta do this. But you have to because it's the passion. It's still the
Yeah.
passion. It's part of the process. So um yeah, man. Like I remember, so I like for those that didn't listen to the record, in the record I said I started out with 2013. So 2013 was the year where like I started my SoundCloud. This is like SoundCloud rap before it became SoundCloud rap.
Yeah.
This is where
SoundCloud,
people, yeah, yeah. So this
like
is where people would record music out of their phones or iPods with another device and try to like sync the instrumental together and then you rap on it and then it syncs to SoundCloud. So I was in that era. All right. I remember those days, dude. Like I was it was pretty foreign to me because I used to write a lot of rap lyrics, right? And I called them songs and I would post it up on like my fan page on Facebook. And I remember in middle school, like someone were to comment, like, why you don't make this an actual song? And as a 13-year-old, you're like, I can? No way. Hold on. Wait.
Oh, show me the way.
Let me try this. Okay, so
Say less.
yeah. So I remember that when I first like record, man, I never realized how my flow was so whack. I never realized how my flow was so whack. Yeah. Like people would tell me I would rap so offbeat than like G Herbo. I'm like,
Oh
come on.
no.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no.
I'm like, but
Ouch.
look at today. Look at today, bro. Like everybody is
Mhm.
rapping offbeat in a way, and it sounds
Yeah.
trendy.
Yeah.
But
G Herbo, Blueface. Who else raps offbeat? Babytron, if you know who that is.
I'm not trying to discredit them. They doing their own thing and they have their own like fan base and people that love their music, but they're trying to like saying that like as an insult to them, you know?
Hmm.
But yeah, man, like it was I remember the mixing process. Like I met Anthony through the DMs on Instagram, right? Because I saw like his post. And then I think he was the first person to introduce me to Audacity. That's when I started to, have my own like laptop in a way just to set things up and try to like figure out the EQs and things. But man, I don't really have that same like time management as I did back in high school because I would literally stayed for so long and just to learn and process everything by myself, like independently. But I remember like these days, especially how everything is so accessible with the resources that everybody has. Anybody can make like a professional song
Oh
if
yeah.
they truly invested into it.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous that they're able to progress that fast. But then I kind of reaffirm myself that like the OGs from back in that time, they were jealous of me because I'm able to do things that they weren't doing like a year or a couple years
Mhm.
prior to like that time.
Oh
So
yeah.
I was like, all right. And that kind of like ties into like what my cousin told me. He said, while you're comparing yourself to others, you should be confident in your abilities. So after that, I was pretty much sold where he's telling me that not directly. I mean, like directly, he's saying you should be confident in your abilities. But what he's trying to imply to me is that you gotta know about self confidence.
Mm.
That's the key. If you have self confidence, then you're able to target anything. You wouldn't even have that thing in the back of your mind. So that from just hearing that, and plus like having that Nirvana moment with Final Fantasy X, I felt like I'm like off the roof. I'm like, all right,
It's
let's
go time,
execute
baby.
this.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's
Let's do this right
goblin mode,
now.
bro. But yeah, goblin. Yeah,
It's time
yeah,
to go
yeah.
goblin mode, baby. Ah.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, man, the love hate relationship with the music, man. It's like it's not how it is before. Like how with SoundCloud you could just upload it. Even YouTube you can just upload it. But no, with like these new like distribution things, you gotta like go through the process and not make sure anything's like have any errors. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
man. I know what you mean. I mean, I remember being new to DistroKid, just kind of like overthinking everything. And then sometimes if you wait too long, just like overthinking it, like I think DistroKid will just refresh or something, and then
yeah, that's what I was afraid of yesterday. I'm
all
like,
your progress is just gone. You're just like,
I was
ah,
afraid
dang
of it. I'm
it.
like, oh, what am I doing, dude?
Yeah, like it'll ask you if you're still there, and then it'll refresh in like 10 seconds. It's just like, no, 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 I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just
Yeah.
overthinking.
I was like, I was going through like so many of the audits. I'm like, is this the right? You even saw it. I'm like, is this the right file? Is that the right title
Yeah,
name?
is this
I'm
the right
not
file?
sure.
I gotta make sure. Yeah,
Hmm.
man. It's those little things that people don't really notice or really care about that artists do still care about because they want to make sure every little single thing is right.
Yeah, because in a way, it's like you're showing your professionalism too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point
Yeah.
because we can't just we can't just like not being perfectionist isn't an excuse to just do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. Hmm.
that's good. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Do you have any final words that you want to give to anyone else? This was a great episode, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Just follow me on the platforms, Instagram, Twitter. I can't believe I'm using Twitter. Like this, like, do people still use Twitter?
Yeah, a lot of people actually do use Twitter. Yeah.
Come on, man. TikTok. I can't believe I made a TikTok. All at the Wabi Fresco. Even YouTube, the Wabi Fresco. I got an album coming out, EP album, maybe like 5 to 7 tracks. It's called Freshest and Fresco. It's gonna feature Emmanuel LKD in it, of course.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just leave it like that. I'm probably might drop a mixtape if it fits in my schedule. It's just gonna be like songs that I guess maybe like compiled like as singles from this year. So it might be, well, I do have the title for it, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna execute it, but it's gonna be called Volume One, the Jordan Year.
The
And the
Jordan
reason why it's called the Jordan Year, because I just turned 23 and it's
Yeah.
2023. So we gotta go hard for the Jordan year. You know what I mean? So
It is a Jordan
it's
year.
basically it. So
It
yeah.
is Jordan year. Gotta go hard for the Jordan year.
Yeah, yeah. Just like that Squirtle right there. That
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah, see, like this squirrel went goblin mode.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yep. And also, me and Emmanuel, we have a anime Discord. So if Emmanuel were to plug the Discord link somewhere here, if you guys
Yeah.
like it, if you guys like anime, just go like join us. We have a community that's building up in a way, and I mean,
Yeah, we're trying to get it
it's like a
popping.
party. It's like a party.
It's a party. It's growing. It's growing. So y'all don't want to miss out on the anime Discord server. Come on, y'all. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
in the bio
No,
as well.
we're just some loud rappers that's trying to come up right now.
Yeah, we're
And
just
I
some
am
loud
loud. Just because my name's Wabi Fresco, don't get it mistaken. We got the loud architectures right there.
all the loud architecture, all the loud decor.
Yep, yep.
Man. Sabadi.
Yep, Somebody. Yep.
Yeah, man. All right, sweet, man. Thanks for hopping on. Y'all can follow
Thanks.
me at Emmanuel
Yep.
LKD on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought about this episode and subscribe for
Yep.
more
Thank you for having
LKD
me,
Talks
man.
content. Yeah, man, no problem. And with that being said, hope y'all have a blessed rest of your day and peace out, y'all. Take care. Peace.